Hello, my strong friends. Today we are going to take a look at the king of the lifts, the one, the only. You already know because you clicked on the video, the bench press.
Isn't the king of the lifts the squat?
Says who?
Your name?
Oh, I forgot that is my name. The bench press is arguably one of the most widely known movements. So if you go to any gym around the world, you'll probably see someone bench pressing, whether you're a casual gym goer or a world-class strength athlete.
Or if you've ever been to a gym on like a Monday.
The bench press is often taught as an introductory movement, but it's incredibly complex, and when it's done incorrectly, it can unfortunately lead to injury or just nagging problems that lifters have all the time. A lot of lifters will report shoulder or elbow problems as a result of poor form in the bench press, or they'll just avoid the movement altogether because it aggravates an existing injury. The actual movement only lasts a couple of seconds, but there's plenty that can go wrong even with a short range of motion. If you are new here, then hello, my name is megsquats and I'm a certified fitness trainer. I'm also a powerlifter and I make videos on how to get strong here on YouTube, and I post them every single Friday. If you enjoy any part of this video or at any time during watching find it helpful, then please do give the video a like. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you love this video, then subscribe to my channel. Oh, we have a sponsor? Thank you so much to our sponsor, Strong Supply, for making today's video possible. Strong Supply is, of course, the business that I own 1/3 of. So every t-shirt that you buy, I get 1/8 of the proceeds. I don't understand the math either, but whatever, I don't have to do any of the dirty work.
That's not how that works.
So if you guys want to check it out, hit up strongsupply.com. It will be the first link down below. What? If you ever wanted your mom to get pissed at you because you're wearing some socks that says you're a bitch. All right, so of course, as we discussed, the bench is now seen as the universal bro movement. Mostly that's attributed to the rise in the use of the bench press in bodybuilding and preference of the bench press for building pec strength and size, of course. The bench press is also the upper body movement found in powerlifting competitions where lifters compete for the best total in the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. Now, of course, benching is great for pec and chest development, but it also targets your triceps, anterior deltoid, and even your lats, your glutes, and your rhomboid. So even though you're focused up here, there is some back movement as well. If you are anyone who is interested in increasing your strength, increasing your size, and increasing your force production for a pressing movement, then the bench press is gonna be awesome for you. You may want to also consider looking at some personal equipment as well. We think a flat-soled shoe is ideal, and of course, wrist wraps and chalk can help with your wrist alignment and your grip. Okay, so the bench press helps us get stronger, build muscle, and improve our coordination through the entire body. So we're gonna keep it simple and break this down into two main areas. You have the setup, everything you do before you start the rep, and then the execution, how you perform the rep itself. So grab a bench, a bar, and let's go. Or just like take your phone with you into the gym and watch this video, or in the comfort of your home, just write some notes down.
Grab that broomstick.
Let's start by taking a look at our setup. Definitely it's not as fun or exciting as the execution of the movement, but it's really important and one of the most overlooked components, and it will make a big difference in your training and just how comfortable you feel with the bench press. We're gonna dial in our setup so that we can build a strong and stable platform from which to press, meaning you can lift a lot more weight for more reps and get stronger and build more muscle when you're set up properly. The first thing we're gonna take a look at is head placement and positioning under the bar. Now, this is one of the most common novice mistakes I see. You either see lifters setting up too close to the rack or too far away, and that could mean either you have a hard time unracking it if you're too far away, or you'll clip the J hooks on your way up during your reps if you're too close. So the goal here with setting up under the bar is to minimize the distance you need to unrack while still giving yourself enough room to perform clean reps without hitting it. So our trick with dialing this in is to lie down under the barbell and adjust your head position so that when you look straight up, your eye gaze is at the foot end, so the end of the barbell that is closest to your foot of the bar. The next thing that we're gonna take a look at is grip width. Now there's no hard and fast rule about what the ideal universal grip width is, and it'll vary from lifter to lifter, as well as based on your goal, your grip might look different. So for instance, a narrower grip will allow you to tuck your elbows in closer to your torso, and that'll place more of an emphasis on your triceps compared to a moderate or even a wider grip. I'm out of breath, sorry.
Was it from the reps or was it because you're talking too fast?
A moderate or wider grip will allow for greater chest and shoulder contribution. When you're just getting started, we recommend placing your hand roughly like a fist width outside of your shoulder width apart on the bar. From that grip width, you can always experiment with more narrow or wider grips and just stick with the version that's the most comfortable and strongest for you. And that'll depend on your limb length, relative strength gains, and more. Also, beware of anyone who tells you that this is the one right way to bench press. You always want to look out for people who are really dogmatic with their form. And we like to encourage people to try new things and figure it out, especially when you're at the beginning of your journey. Your next aspect of setup on the bench press is to pay attention to your wrist and forearm alignment. So you want to hold the bar in the strongest and most supported position possible. So to do that, you want to keep the bar directly stacked over the wrists and the forearms. Wrap your thumb around the barbell and hold the bar towards the base of your hand. It's a little weird, but try to keep the bar resting on like the butt of your palm. And what that'll do is allow the bar to sit right over your wrist. So some people will often mess this up, and instead of supporting it with their forearm and wrist, the bar is just being held in their hands. Kind of like this. Hold on, let me show you. You'll see that a lot. Can you see that? You'll see that. That's a big no-no. That kind of hurts with this light bar. Instead, you want something like this. So yes. No, queen. Yes. No.
All right, enough
Yeah.
of that.
Aim to keep that straight and strong wrist from the time you unrack the bar all the way until you finish your set. To help with heavier weights, a lot of lifters choose to wear wrist wraps.
Hey, speaking of wrist wraps.
Thanks for today's sponsor. We do have wrist wraps that we sell on Strong Supply. These are awesome. They're heavy duty, good for heavy lifting.
Where are those things made?
These are made in the US of A, baby. Hard to find lifting equipment that's made in the United States, I won't lie. So this is what we'll sometimes see lifters do, and it looks cute, but unfortunately this is not very supportive of the wrist because my wrist can do all kinds of crazy. I have all kinds of crazy wrist mobility here. What I wanna do, I'll show you with the other one, is wrap it like so, tightening as I go with each wrap, making sure that the butt of my hand is mostly covered so that I can't move my wrist. So, bad, no, good. You can see I can't really bend my hand back.
And not just tightness too, like the positioning and the height of it is the good way is actually covering your wrist joint so you can't like cock it back.
Exactly. Yeah, you can wrap this super tight, but the positioning is not gonna be good. I need the butt of my hand covered and I need my entire wrist joint covered. Bye. This is good. This is bad. Oh, I'm trying to make this one go crazy and this be elegant. I can't. Oh, I can do it! All right, the next really important thing to think about is your upper back position. The upper back is what connects your torso and your body to the bench, and you wanna make sure that it's super stable so that you can have a big bench. The goal is to retract and depress the scapula, meaning that your shoulder blades are kind of pulled together and down, and you're able to maintain that position throughout your entire set. One trick is to think about squeezing a penny between your shoulder blades here, and that can help cue some shoulder and scapular retraction. This shoulder position combined with actively raising your chest and keeping your butt on the bench and tucking your pelvis can create that arch that you may have seen from powerlifters use. Sometimes it's used to restrict range of motion and lift more weight, and that can be a useful tool for competitive lifters, but putting all of the things together with the stable upper back and the tight glutes and keeping everything tight will naturally create a curved spine on the bench. So keep that in mind. For general gym goers, new lifters, and those prioritizing hypertrophy, you can get more out of training by focusing more on a strong and stable position and less on restricting that range of motion or trying to reach and get in a really tight, uncomfortable position. All right, we've got your hands and wrists figured out. We've got your back on the bench. We've got your head set up somewhere on there. Next, you want to think about setting your feet. Might sound strange because you're thinking you only move in here, but your foot position is really important to your bench press. Can you see how it's like, honestly, such an annoying movement because there's so many moving pieces to like the shortest range of motion of most of your lifts? Anyway, with your feet, you can use leg drive, and leg drive during your bench press can help increase the stability in your setup, and you'll see many people benching with just their toes on the ground, which is fine, but since I have always competed in USA powerlifting, my federation requires both feet flat on the floor. We will talk a little bit more about feet during the execution section, but feel free to play around with different positions in your setup. Personally, I do focus on a more tucked position with my feet, so I kind of try to inch them back a little bit closer to my head. That just helps maintain a little bit more tension, and especially comes in handy when I'm competing. Now we've talked about 80 different things to get your setup together. We're ready to finally talk about the execution. The first thing that I want to talk about is bracing and unracking. So whenever you're ready to put the bar in your hands, you want to take a deep breath and then unrack. So you might feel like you need to press the bar off the rack, but if you look at my setup, this is just a slight movement where you mostly use your lats to unrack the bar and put it in position. So think of it more as a lat pullover instead of like a mini micro bench. Of course here, a handoff from a spotter will be helpful for the unrack. So if you can find a spotter while you're just getting started, that will be good for you. All right, so now you've got the barbell unracked. It's in your hands, everything is stacked and you're ready to go. You want to then descend and bring the bar down to touch your chest. So slowly descend the bar and focus on maintaining tension. One tip that I like is to think about squeezing your pinkies in so that you're activating your pecs, kind of like you're bending the barbell apart. That'll maintain tension throughout your whole body so that you're pushing with some power. So while you've got all that tension in, descend to your chest, and more specifically, you might want to start thinking about the bra line, so kind of right under your boobies. So as you adjust your grip width and play around with that, your contact point might change. So a wider grip will touch higher on your chest, narrower, lower, but this is a good starting point, especially if you have a moderate grip. So once the bar has made contact with your chest, it is finally time to press. You're almost done. For powerlifting competitions, you'll need to pause on the chest and wait for a press command. But for training purposes, a slight pause where the bar becomes motionless or even touch and go reps are okay. We do recommend avoiding any kind of bounce off the chest, and we like to maintain tension against the bar even during that pause. So as you're pressing, of course you're gonna press up, but you'll also want to think about pressing back. So it's a back and up motion. Unlike the other lifts, the optimal bar path in the bench press is not perfectly straight up and down. This is because the strongest lockout point is directly over our shoulders, but the strongest contact point is considerably lower on the torso. So that means a vertical bar path would result in either too high of a contact point or too low of a lockout. And don't forget to use your legs throughout the whole movement during your whole rep, and especially during the press portion of the lift. Aim to actively drive through your legs. So a cue I use is to think about driving my toes through the front of my foot, and I'd be pushing my body backwards. So I'd be kind of doing this.
Let me zoom in on those tootsies. Hold on.
Can you see? This is me not doing it. This is me doing it.
It's
Relax.
Okay. When you
press.
edit, you can just put like a little arrow going in the direction you're pointing, right?
So whenever you're down here, of course, I'd have my bench press, and I'm pushing my feet back. It's almost like I'm pushing my head kind of off the bench, but when I've got a weight in my hands and when my shoulders are set, it'll prevent me from actually moving. So think about doing that so that you're maintaining tension and you're creating that solid base, and you're able to push with these things when you're doing this thing. So using this cue, your quads will engage, your glutes will maintain tension, your feet will stay rooted, and your body is pushed down and back into the bench. And all of this is while you're pressing up and back. All right, I know that was intense. The bench press is not as easy as 1, 2, 3. There are a ton of things happening at once. That's why I prefer curls. Now, no compound movement is simple and mastery takes a long time. So the most important thing to remember is to always drill in your good form, practice it consistently, always look on YouTube and at good bench pressers for some tips so that you're always learning. The big weights will come eventually. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's the end of this video, you guys. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you found this video helpful at all, please do give the video a like. And of course, if you want to improve your bench press, then I've got 4 words for you.
Stronger by the
day. Stronger by the day. Stronger by the Day is my program. It's only $8 a month if you want to join, or you can check out a free week of programming just for you, only you. So click the link down below so you guys can check it out, and I will see you in that next video on Friday. What are you guys gonna be for Halloween? I'm gonna be Jen Thompson.
Just walk around benching 315.
I gotta get some fake weights, you know what I'm saying? Bye.
What are you doing up there?
Woo! Doggy. All right, let's lift.